Today's lesson is on solving exponential and logarithmic equations, so that means getting x by itself. If x is in the exponent, take the log. Remember, I have a song for that. If x is in the exponent, take the log, clap, clap. If x is in the exponent, take the log, clap, clap. If x is in the exponent and you want to get it out, if x is in the exponent, take the log. So on this first one, x is in the exponent, so you're going to log both sides. Anytime you do something to one side of math, you need to do it to the other. The reason that that is helpful is because with logs, the power can be put in front. And we talked about that yesterday. So 2x plus 15 log 2 equals log 8. Okay. All right, the next step to get x by itself is to get rid of this log 2. So you're going to divide by log 2. That gives me 2x plus 15 equals, you type this in your calculator, log 8 divided by log 2. That gives you 3. And then you just solve it like a normal equation. You're going to subtract 15, which gives you negative 12, and divide by 2, and x is negative 6. All right, you do need to take notes on notebook paper for today. All right, the next one, 2 to the 3x equals 30. Well, where is x? X is in the exponent, so you take the log. So you log both sides. When you do that, the exponent can go in front. So 3x log 2 equals log 30. All right, I want to get x by itself, so the next thing you move is log 2, divide by log 2. So you get 3x equals, and when you type that in your calculator, log 30 divided by log 2, you get 4.907. Let's go 3 decimal places today, and then you divide by 3. And x is 1.636 is your answer. Feel free to pause and rewind this video at any time if I'm going too fast, and you can hear it again slower. All right, number 3. Let me rewrite that. 3 to the 2x minus 1 equals 7. Well, x is in the exponent, so you take the log of both sides. And that allows you to throw the exponent in front. 2x minus 1 times log 3 equals log 7. All right, you're trying to get x by itself, so the next thing you do is you move the log 3. To move that, you divide it. Log 7 divided by log 3. Go 3 decimal places, 1.771 equals 2x minus 1. And then you just solve this like a regular equation. You're going to add 1. And then divide by 2. And you get 1.386. Go 3 decimal places today. Okay. All right, number 4. Okay, so x is in the exponent, but before you take the log, you have to get this by itself. So on the previous examples, 1 through 3, the part with the exponent was already by itself. And if you go back to number 2, it was already by itself. And if you go back to number 1, it was already by itself. So on this one, it's not by itself. So you need to get that by itself first. So you're going to minus 11, which gives you negative 9. And then you're going to divide by 3. So you get 4 to the x equals negative 3. Once you get this by itself, then you take the log. So log of 4x equals log of negative 3. and x can go in front, so x log 4 equals log negative 3. Alright, so the next thing you do is divide by log 4. And when you type that in your calculator, you're going to get an error because you cannot take the log of a negative number. That's impossible. So the calculator is going to give you an error. So the answer to this one is actually no solution. There are no values of x that would satisfy the original equation. All right, the next one. So you have to get this piece by itself first. So the first thing you're going to do is divide by 2, which gives you e to the 5x minus 3 equals 8. All right, so x is in the exponent, so now you're going to take the log, but in this case, we're going to take the ln. Anytime there is an e, you're going to do ln instead of log. So you're going to do ln e to the 5x minus 3 equals ln 8. So you're going to ln both sides. And this goes to the front, so 5x minus 3 ln e equals ln 8. Now, ln e actually cancels itself out. It disappears. If you didn't remember that, you could type it in the calculator and you'd end up with the same answer, but it does disappear. So we're left with 5x minus 3 equals ln 8. So you would add 3. So ln 8 plus 3, let me type that in my calculator. The ln key is kind of next to the 4. All right, that gives me 5.079, and then divide by 5. X is 1.016. All right, 2 times 6 to the x plus 1 minus 8 equals 12. So the first thing you have to do is get this by itself. So to do that, we're going to add 8, which gives you 20, and then divide by 2, which gives you 10. So then you're left with 6 to the x plus 1 equals 10. All right, so x is in the exponent. Now I'm ready to take the log. And this gets thrown in front. X plus 1 log 6 equals log 10. And you'll divide by log 6 to get rid of it. So that leaves you with x plus 1 equals log 10 divided by log 6 is 1.285, and you subtract 1, so x is 0.285. And that is your answer. All right, now we're going to switch gears, and we're going to do ones with logs in them. So before we were doing x in the exponent, and now we're doing logs. The steps for this one are to use your properties to condense. And then if there's logs on both sides, you knock them out, you cancel them out, and then you solve. All right, so again, step 1 is to condense. That's step 1, condense. So if you look, there's not multiple logs on the left or multiple logs on the right. So there's really nothing to condense. So you're ready to go to step 2, which is knock them out, which just means to cancel. So those cancel. If there's a log on both sides, they cancel out. So you're left with 6 minus 3x equals 10 minus 5x. And then you're just going to solve that like a regular equation. You need to combine like terms, so add 5x and then subtract 6. So that gives you 2x equals 4. Divide by 2, and x equals 2. Okay. Now, if you remember mentioning earlier in the video, you cannot take the log of a negative number. So you do need to double check that that is not happening. You have to plug your answer back in. So when you plug in a 2 right here, also, sorry, you can't take the log of a negative number or 0. Okay? So when you plug in 2, 10 minus 5 times 2 would be 10 minus 10, which gives you 0. So that is impossible. So this one is actually no solution. So you do have to be careful with logs on checking your answer. All right, let's do a couple more. All right, log 2 plus log x minus 5 equals log 2. So step 1 is to condense. So plus turns into multiply. So it's going to be log 2 times x minus 5 equals log 2. After you condense, you can cancel if there's a log on both sides. So your logs cancel. And let's go ahead and distribute here. So it'd be 2x minus 10 equals 2. And you just solve that for x. So you add 10 and then divide by 2, x equals 6. All right, when we plug that back in, 6 minus 5 is 1, so we are good to go. So x equals 6 is our answer. All right, ln of 2x plus 1 minus ln of x minus 1 equals ln 7. So step 1 is to condense. Minus turns into divide. So I'm going to have ln of 2x plus 1 divided by x minus 1 equals ln 7. All right, you got an ln on both sides, so they will cancel. So you're left with 2x plus 1 over x minus 1 equals 7. All right, so how are we going to solve this for x? Let's get this out of the bottom and multiply it. So that leaves us with 2x plus 1 equals 7x minus 7. You have to be careful and remember to distribute. And then we're going to combine like terms. So we'll minus 7x and minus 1 gives me negative 8 over there, negative 5x here, divide by negative 5, and x equals 8 over 5. All right, when you plug that back in, 8 over 5 times 2 plus 1 is not going to give you a negative, and 8 over 5 minus 1 is not going to give you a negative either. So you are good to go. All right. In these last examples, you only have logs on one side. So you're still going to condense, but then there's not going to be anything to cancel. So you're going to have to rewrite it as an exponent. So let me show you what I mean by that. All right, so step 1 was to condense, but there's nothing to condense on this one. So you're going to rewrite it, and you always start with the base. Okay, so my base is 3, and you go to the second power equals 2x plus 15. All right, and now you're ready to solve that. So 3 squared is 9 equals 2x plus 15. And you're going to solve that for x. So you minus 15, which gives you negative 6, and divide by 2, and x is negative 3. All right, so let's check our answer. Let's plug that back in. 2 times negative 3 plus 15 is negative 6 plus 15, which gives you 9, which is positive. So that answer will work. So x equals negative 3 is correct. All right, this one, log x squared minus 3 plus log 10 equals 1. Your first step is to condense. So plus turns into multiply. So log of x squared minus 3 times 10 equals 1. So let's go ahead and distribute this. So this gives me 10x squared minus 30 equals 1. All right, this log does not cancel because there's nothing on the other side to cancel out with it. So you rewrite it as an exponent. So if there's no base, the base is 10. So it's 10 to the first equals 10x squared minus 30. And we're just going to solve this. So you add 30, which gives you 40. And then divide by 10. And then to get rid of a square, you square root it, which is just 2. All right, when you plug 2 back in, 2 squared is 4, minus 3 is positive 1, so you are good to go. X is 2. All right, last example. So the first thing you need to do on this one is get this by itself. So let's minus 4, which gives me negative 24, and divide by negative 6, which gives me positive 4, and I'm left with ln 3x minus 1. All right, is there anything to cancel out with the ln? The answer is no, so you have to rewrite it. ln has a base of e, so it's e to the 4th equals 3x minus 1. And when you type e to the 4th in your calculator, you do second ln. So e to the 4th is 54.598 equals 3x minus 1. And you have to add 1. 55.598 equals 3x, and then divide by 3. And x is 18.533. All right, when you plug that back in, that will definitely not give you a negative, so you are good to go. All right, I definitely recommend re-watching parts of the video that you didn't understand, and hearing it a second time will help.